statistics, but back since 2008, the property increase within the Collingwood area has increased by some 34%. So it's quite remarkable when you look at that over such a short period of time, which is only 6 years today. But probably another thing that really attracted me was this, just the heritage concept that this site had, and the passion to obviously bring it back to its former glory, and the history that's involved in the site was probably the real thing that got me, with also the challenge to be able to, number one, we knew that, from day one we had to get a heritage permit. We knew that we had to do some work in relation to some contamination issues, which we've all done. It's totally cleaned up now. And we knew we had to also get a permit from council, being the City of Yarra, which we have a great relationship with and have been working for some time. But it's not like working with a normal site where you really only have to concentrate on getting a permit. We have to get 2 permits here. But Heritage Victoria we worked closely with for about 12 to 14 months to get this permit, and they were very enthusiastic about the ideas that we had, especially when I mentioned to them about how we wanted to keep this main brew tower the focus point of the site, and we were happy to, as you probably know, the project, we've pushed all the buildings away from the brew tower, and we've created a big courtyard of some 450 square metres around the brew tower area, and there's going to be a cafe here, it's going to be open to the public, we're going to have a deli, etc, etc. So it will be now, instead of being an old derelict car park, it'll be a hive of activity out here, and it'll be open to the public and all the residents within the project. So that was Heritage Victoria were very on board once we sort of talked about that, and I think that helped us get our permit from Heritage Victoria. The project here, as everyone knows, consists of 356 dwellings, and that's a mix of 1 and 2 and 3-bedroom apartments. There's also a number of heritage apartments in here, and a number of townhouses facing Rocket Street. So that's a bit about SMA, and if anyone's got any questions that I'd like to ask now, I'd be happy to answer them, or if anyone wants to come up later on and chat to me, please feel free.
Any questions? Half price.
Zoe asked me to talk about what offer.
Yeah, we offer a pre-launch incentive, which a lot of purchasers already bought into this building. And as you all know, that once we launch to the market at 30th May, the price will go up and the incentive will no longer exist. So we extend the same offer to whoever comes today and to your friends. So that's the incentive that we offer. Yeah, and the uniqueness of the building obviously is very apparent. So it's not like most of Melbourne's building, which you got a land and you got a building up this. This is creating a community area, so it's more like community in the inner suburb, which is very Melbourne, and apart from this historical piece of the building. So in terms of the price point, a lot of people ask me this, because in comparison to here and the surrounding suburbs, as our company have done quite a lot of projects in the surrounding suburbs and did a lot of research on it. So in Abbotsford and Richmond, the current project is selling on the market square meters around 11 to 10,000 per square meter. And we have this one, this apartment down through Chadaka valuation as well. We have valuation report, which we can show you of the current valuation. At the same time, in comparison to these suburbs, and our price is lower than what you can see on the market right now, on the market project. And even the project's already settled. So that brings extraordinary value when you're looking at investment. So I'm sure our consultants here will give you more information. Welcome to ask any information in finance, rental, figures, everything. Thank you again for coming.
I might just say one more thing.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys, but there is also, when you look at this project compared to other projects happening around the Melbourne, which there's a lot of great projects happening around Melbourne, and all sorts of suburbs. But when you look at, and if you're particularly here as an investor, when you look at a project like this, what we look at is it's got the heritage aspect, which the other projects around Melbourne don't have, which makes it quite unique compared to other projects. And the heritage aspect adds, not only are we, we're spending $6 million, $67 million renovating the heritage component. But not only does that add value to the project, it also adds an atmosphere and an interest that anyone that comes and visits, and even for a resale, they'll want to look at this and they'll say, well, you know, it just adds a totally different aspect against the project compared to anything else that is offered. And I don't think there's any other projects at the moment offering heritage aspects, especially with this sort of quality. The other thing I want to say is that because we've actually, I've had the media contacting me a little bit lately in relation to the uniqueness of this project, because we've also offered two sort of hotel rooms, not really hotel rooms, they're overnight stay rooms, which are it's a 1-bedroom apartment and 2-bedroom apartment for the instance of, you know, if you live in this building or you rent an apartment in this building, your tenant or yourself has access to that particular overnight stay facility for their friends or family or anyone visiting them for a number of nights. And there is a cost to that, obviously, but it's only a minimal cost. It just saves them having to stay in the city or stay in a hotel close by. So we're also offering that, and that's been quite. I didn't realise it, but we were. I think we were the first in Melbourne to offer that in the project. So I just sorted out those.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just talking about atmosphere, what sort of retail sales will be in the plaza? What sort of shops will we see?
Oh, well, what we're going to have, where we are now, will be a cafe,
Yeah.
and then over the other side is going to be a deli, and we're going to have a dry cleaning facility, and we're going to have a cleaning service, so that we can obviously get their apartments cleaned if they want in the facility. So that's what we're offering. And above that, there's a business centre as well. So above that, you can rent the boardroom. We have a hot desk up there as well.
No features here.
No, that's above the deli.
Above the deli, yeah.
And the dry cleaners
And in terms of the investment, and I know a lot of you is investors here, and it's obviously driving the investment. Capital growth is a supply and demand, right? And especially what we're looking at short-term or long-term. Obviously, all the investments for long-term, but we want to get into the project, have short-term growth, rather than longer term. So, you correct me if I'm wrong. Kevin did a research on rental in this area. So in Greater Melbourne, it's about 20 people looking at one property to rent in Melbourne. However, in Collingwood, it's 72 people looking at one. So this is the highest among all suburbs in Melbourne at the moment. So as you can see, we know what projects coming up in Melbourne, in Collingwood, and this is probably only major development. However, in Melbourne, you probably have 30,000 coming up and 20,000 settled. I'm talking about CBD. And Abbotsford and Richmond, obviously another 10,000 around there settling and coming up. In Collingwood, it's much less. So that's why the short-term demand is higher in comparison this to other surrounding suburbs, if you're looking at investment. Yeah, so if any other questions, welcome to ask. So otherwise, enjoy your beer.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.